Hello guys and welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer, and it's the final predictions of the season. We've still got things to play for as well at the very top of the table and at the bottom. Guys, before we jump in, as always, smash that like button and subscribe if you are new here. Now, if you have been here before for these videos, normally it's just me, but because it's the last one of the season, we have got Scott with us. Now, Scott, I'm going to throw it straight over to you for the first game, which is Arsenal versus Everton.
Yeah, and of course, hopefully the regular watchers won't be too disappointed that they've not got the lovely graphic that you usually provide. Instead, they've got my face instead. But yeah, Arsenal-Everton, of course, Everton securing Premier League safety in the last game. It felt like some of the players were still tweeting at 2 a.m. and, you know, it's a very quick recovery to then go and play Sunday. So there's going to be questions about what's going to happen there. Of course, Arsenal, they might have one eye on, obviously, the Spurs fixture as well, but they need to get the job done. They need to get 3 points. It's an interesting this one, because it could really depend how things are going elsewhere. Obviously, if Spurs are already 3-0 up, Arsenal may lose some of their motivation. But I am going to go for an Arsenal win, last game of the season. 2-1 is my prediction.
I think I was going to say 3-1 because Everton could be on the booze for the next 2 or 3 days. We don't know. I'm going to say 3-1. Scott's gone 2-1. Next up is Brentford versus Leeds. Brentford are in really good form. For Leeds, they've just got to better Burnley's results or they're down. Everton are safe now. If Burnley get the win, no matter what Leeds do, unless they win 20-0, they are down, sadly. So they've just got to focus on what they need to do and just go for the 3 points. Brentford, so well, they're 11th at the moment. They can finish 10th. Brentford 10th, imagine. I'm going to go for a draw. If Burnley lose, I think Leeds will be safe because I think they'll draw. And I'm going to say 2-2.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Unless Leeds obviously win 20-0, it is going to go, obviously, goal differences against them. And I do think Brentford have been absolutely fantastic this season, but not too much to play for. Maybe they'll want a big last home game of the season, but I am going to go Leeds 1-0, narrow victory in this one. And that brings us on to a big game in itself, Brighton versus West Ham. Now, Brighton finishing the season quite well, of course, in their last home fixture. We'll all remember what they did there, that massive 4-0 win against Manchester United. To take on West Ham at home in this fixture, and West Ham, of course, currently 7th, could still finish 6th. And with United having Crystal Palace and Crystal Palace being at home, of course, they threw away that 2-0 lead against Everton, but they've been very impressive this season. So not an easy fixture. I think West Ham will be motivated for this one. And despite Brighton doing well in the last home fixture, I'm going to go for a West Ham win. And I am going to go for 3-1 in that fixture.
I'm going to say 2-1 to West Ham. Next up, Burnley. Burnley versus Newcastle. Burnley just need to match the result of Leeds. If Leeds lose, it's fine, they're up. If Leeds draw, Burnley just need to draw. If Leeds win, obviously Burnley need to win. For Newcastle, they're 12th at the moment, and they can also finish in the top 10. Imagine that. You didn't win in your first 14 games in the league, and then you finish in the top half. That would be incredible. I don't know with this one. You kind of thought Newcastle would be on the beach, but look what they did to Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to give Burnley a draw, and I think I might be being a bit generous there because I kind of fancy I think I'm going to say 1-1.
Interesting that is, because of course you said Newcastle that you feel they'd be on the beach. For me, it feels like they want to finish the season really strongly. Yeah. And for that reason, I'm sorry, Burnley fans, because of course it would confirm your relegation, especially with what I said with the Leeds result. But I'm going to go Newcastle, and I do think Newcastle will get a 2-1 victory in that one. So a big result to obviously keep Leeds up. And we then move on to, of course, Chelsea versus Watford. Rob Edwards being confirmed to take over Watford. I don't think Roy's really cared too much about this job, as he has been. I don't think he'll go down in the history of the Watford books. And if anything, it's just made him more loved by the Palace fans. But coming up against Chelsea team, but you know, both teams seem to have just gave up. Watford know they're going down. It's a new start. Chelsea 1-1 draw to Leicester, obviously, yesterday. Maybe they'll want to finish, obviously, at home, a big fixture. Certainly, it's going to be a big for Chelsea, isn't it, with the takeover and everything. I think they'll win. I think they will win. It's Watford. They should beat them. And I'm going to go for a 3-0 score in this one.
I think it's a Chelsea win. It's a shame, really. You know, you're losing the League Cup final. You're losing the FA Cup final, both on penalties. You get dumped out of the Champions League. I think they'll get the job done. I might say 2-0 to Chelsea. Next up is that Palace versus United game that you mentioned. And, you know, just a shout out, what a job Vieira's done. We did our season predictions at the start of the campaign, and we basically laughed Vieira out of the park.
Yeah.
We hold our hands up, Palace fans. We got it wrong, but I don't think many people thought Vieira was going to do this well, but I tip my hat off to him. And Palace are another team that can finish 10th. I can't believe this. They're 13th. If the results go their way, they can also finish in the top half. And you hit the nail on the head earlier, Scott, with United. It's whether they play Europa League or Conference League. I think I might give it Palace, you know. I just got no faith in United. And, you know, after the disappointment of last night being 2-0 up, I think Selhurst Park will be buzzing. I'm going to go 2-1 Palace.
That's an interesting prediction. Of course, Vieira, obviously going back to his Arsenal days in yesterday's fixture where he ended up kicking Everton fan to the ground. To be honest, the Everton fan deserved it. Absolutely ridiculous. But when it comes to this fixture, I'm going to say United aren't going to win. I ain't going to be quite as harsh as you, but I'm going to say 2-2 on the last day, which brings us on to a fixture, Leicester versus Southampton. Now, in our the last 2 times these teams have met, it's been a 1-1 draw, and the time before that, it was a 2-2 draw. So in the last 2 fixtures, it's finished in a draw between these two. Obviously, both having, you know, they're both safe. Leicester will be disappointed with how their season's finished. Southampton, likewise, will also be disappointed with how their season's finished and nearly got dragged into the relegation battle. And as for Leicester, you know, they'll probably be disappointed they didn't win that Conference League to get some form of European football next season. But when it comes to this fixture, I think it's just going to be one that both teams are just going to go for it. I'm not going to match that fixture that happened 2 games ago when these 2 teams met. I'm going to go 2-2 on this one as well.
Ooh, I think I'm going to go 3-2 to Leicester. Haven't Southampton... Scoring. Yeah, I think Southampton have won 1 in their last 9. Is it 60 defeats and 2 draws, 1 win or something? It's awful form. I'm going to go Leicester. Goals, and 3-2. Next up is Liverpool versus our club, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Liverpool, of course, going for the title. Wolves, the less we talk about Wolves, the better, my word. For Liverpool, they've just got to try and do the business. If Villa can do them a favour against City, if City draw that game and Liverpool win, they will be champions. I think Liverpool will turn us over. We've just been awful. Losses to Burnley, draws to Norwich, getting pumped by Brighton. I think Liverpool could win this 3 or 4-0.
Wow. And to be fair, you know, it emerged this week that Wolves players already jetting off to Portugal. They didn't apparently return back to training until Wednesday. I don't know what that's about when they're literally a week away from the end of the season. Something odd's going around at the club at the moment and needs to be rectified in the summer. But like you said, I've got no faith in us getting a point or a win or anything like that. I'm not going to be quite as harsh. I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool, which obviously sets us up for our next fixture because you guys will be wanting to know who we are predicting to win the title. And of course, next we're talking about City taking on Aston Villa. Now, Steven Gerrard will be wanting to cause an upset here. Of course, he messed up the title with his slip not too long, a few seasons back. And of course, Coutinho was involved at that time as well. Well, both players have a bit of an impact. Of course, Coutinho will be able to do it on the pitch. Gerrard, it's up to him to manage the Aston Villa team well. But a lot of focus on Pep Guardiola with this one. You know, he's threw away Champions League finals, Champions League semi-finals. He's messed things up, you know, over the last couple of years. This is another big moment where he's got to prove himself as one of the elites for me. He can't make the team slip up. I don't think he will, though, and I think it will be City that get the title. I think it'll be a well-thought-out game, but City, they're like a goal. I'm going to say 3-1 in this fixture.
Yeah, you touched on Gerrard at the helm. You touched on Coutinho. I also believe, obviously, Danny Ings played for Liverpool, but wasn't he a Liverpool fan anyway, I think, or something like that? I imagine he'll give them a team talk of his life, Gerrard. You know, the players aren't stupid. They know what this game means to him personally as a fan, so they'll want to do their best. And we know Villa will spend money in the summer. A lot of these players could be playing for their future. So,
yeah,
Oh, I don't know. I think it'll be close. I think City will do it. I'm going to say 2-1. I wouldn't be surprised if Villa take the lead in this game and City win 2-1. I'm going to go the extra mile. I'm going to say Villa take the lead, City 2-1.
There we go. And of course, you have the last game.
Yes, and Norwich versus Spurs. A few murmurs coming out, and I think it's been confirmed by Sky Sports at the time of recording this video that there's been a bit of a bug going round the Tottenham camp, some food issues. Mr. Wenger is now apparently a chef at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I think the main players are okay. I think your Sons, your Kanes, your Højbjergs, the Romeros, I think they're okay. So I think as long as Son and Kane play, I think they get the win. I wouldn't worry. Norwich, awful. One of the worst teams in Premier League history. Overall, no ambition of staying up. I don't think they've got any ambition of winning tomorrow or at the weekend. I think Spurs will do it easy. I'm going to say 3 or 4-0 Spurs. I might go 4-0 Spurs.
Yeah, I'm going to go 1 goal less. I'm going to go 3-0 in this one. As you say, I think Spurs get the job done and secure top 4 football.
So, there we are.
That is our last Premier League fixtures. Hopefully the regulars have enjoyed my face instead of obviously the lovely graphic you usually have. But guys, as always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I don't think we knew who was going to actually end that then because we've been doing a bit of back and forth. And of course, I usually end things. So I am ending it. Guys, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Take care.